Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we are really cutting through all the hype around AI. We're going to focus on Microsoft Azure's AI services. Our mission really is to give you a clear and pretty quick understanding of what's actually important here. How these services let you build intelligent apps and why they're such a big deal for, well, everyone from developers to businesses. Think of this as your shortcut, your way to get the key takeaways from this whole Azure AI world. All right, let's dive in.
Yeah, and what's really, I think, insightful about Azure's whole approach is how they've built this ecosystem. It's incredibly powerful, obviously, but it's also surprisingly easy to get started with. It sort of streamlines the whole AI development journey right from the initial idea all the way to getting it deployed.
Absolutely. And right at the forefront, you've got the Azure OpenAI service. Now, the real key insight here isn't just that you get access to these amazing models like GPT-4 or Codex, which for anyone who doesn't know, that's the one trained specifically for writing code. The real game changer, I think, is the enterprise-level security and compliance that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Your company's sensitive data, it stays right inside your own Azure setup, your tenant, while you're fine-tuning and actually
Yeah.
using these incredibly powerful models. If you're in finance, healthcare, any regulated field, that's huge, a massive difference.
Exactly. It's really about bringing the power of these, large language models into places where data privacy and having control are absolutely non-negotiable.
Right.
It lets you securely weave them into the business processes you already have.
Okay, so if Azure OpenAI gives us those like foundational generative models,
Mhm.
what about the AI features that are more off the shelf, the kind you don't need tons of custom training for?
Right, that's where Azure Cognitive Services really shines. It's basically this big collection of pre-built APIs. You've got stuff for vision, speech, language, decision making. It's all designed so developers can just quickly plug AI features into their apps without having to, build everything from the ground up.
That makes sense. Faster development.
Definitely accelerates things. Yeah. And within cognitive services, you have things like Azure Cognitive Search. Now, this uses natural language processing, but crucially, it uses semantic search.
Semantic search, so not just keywords.
Exactly. It's not just mashing the words you type. It actually tries to understand the meaning, the context behind your query. So imagine you're searching your company's internal documents for uh, how to improve team collaboration.
Okay.
It won't just find documents with team or collaboration. It might pull up results talking about synergy or effective communication, even if those specific words aren't in the document text itself.
I see. That kind of contextual understanding
Hmm.
that seems vital for actually finding what you really need, not just what you typed. And speaking of language, you've also got services like Azure Language, Translator, and Form Recognizer. These seem focused on understanding, well, human language, right?
Precisely. And Form Recognizer is a great example of practicality. You can literally show it a scanned invoice, maybe even a handwritten form.
Wow, handwritten too.
Yeah, and it can intelligently figure out and extract the specific bits of data you need, like the date, the total amount, the vendor name. Think about all those expense receipts. No more typing them in manually.
That sounds amazing for automating tedious stuff.
Yeah.
And the translator helps bridge language gaps, obviously.
It really transforms how businesses handle paperwork and communicate globally.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you need to go beyond these pre-built APIs. You need something highly specific, highly tailored. That's where Azure Machine Learning comes into play. This is the platform, the set of tools for training, deploying, and managing your own custom machine learning models and doing it at scale.
Right. And you mentioned MLOps integration earlier when we were prepping. For listeners who know about DevOps for software, what's distinct about machine learning operations, MLOps? Why is it so critical for AI models specifically?
Because they aren't like regular code, they drift, they need retraining. That's a great question. Yeah, MLOps basically applies that same discipline you see in DevOps, but tailored for the machine learning lifecycle. It's absolutely crucial because AI models, well, they aren't static. Their performance can degrade over time as the real-world data they see starts to change or drift.
Okay.
So MLOps gives you the pipelines, the automation to constantly monitor how your models are doing, detect that drift, automatically trigger retraining when needed, and then deploy the updated models reliably. It keeps your AI relevant and effective out there in the real world.
Got it. So that continuity is absolutely key. Now, something I find just, well, mind-boggling, honestly, is Azure Video Indexer. The idea that you can take video, which is usually just passive content, and turn it into something completely searchable and analyzable. Can you maybe walk us through a real-world example? Where does that capability become truly transformative?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine a large media company, right? They've got maybe petabytes of archived video footage. Finding one specific clip traditionally, that meant someone had to manually watch potentially hours and hours of video.
Yeah, painful.
With Video Indexer, it can automatically go through and detect things like spoken words, identify faces, understand emotions being expressed, recognize objects, even pull out key topics or themes within the video. So then you could just search for, say, all the clips where the CEO is discussing Q3 earnings or fine scenes featuring this specific product. It basically turns your entire video library into an active searchable database. It unlocks just immense value from content that was previously really hard to get anything out of.
Wow. That really does sound like having a super smart archivist working 24/7 on every single video you have.
Yeah.
So as you can probably tell by now, Azure AI offers this incredible range, from those really big foundational models with Azure OpenAI to tools for building your own custom ML, and then these very specialized services like the Video Indexer.
Yeah.
We didn't even get deeply into things like Azure Bot Services for chatbots, or Personalizer for tailoring experiences, or Metrics Advisor for anomaly detection,
Sure.
or even content safety. The list goes on.
It really does. And I think of what we've touched on today, it really points to this larger vision Microsoft seems to have. It's about delivering AI that isn't just powerful or flexible, but that's also genuinely scalable, ethical, and truly ready for production use in, well, pretty much any industry you can think of.
So thinking about how accessible and powerful these Azure AI tools actually are becoming, here's a final thought for you, our listener. What surprising new intelligent applications or experiences could you now imagine creating? Or maybe even just encountering out there in the world around you? Something to ponder.